Let's bring in our guests. Analyst, Mr. Adeni Fetaya joins us virtually. Mr. Fetaya, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to you.
All right, let me see where we will have to start from. Maybe The Guardian is a good place to start for this Tuesday, March the 17th. Guardian is leading with Middle East crisis. International travel squeeze, ticket spikes by 100% as airlines cancel flights in their culture. And they've done the infographics, just a bit of an added explainer for persons who may like this kind of infographics. It's a page 6 read on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Mr. Fetaya, apparently this is going to be a constant conversation as long as this war lasts. It's 18 days already into the war on Iran. Mr. Fetayo.
Yes, we know that a lot of things is going to happen. Whenever there is a war, there is both direct impact and indirect impact. And one of such is cancellation of flights to those destinations inbound and outbound. And as well, increase in fare tickets and all of that, like some are recording 100%. But I want to localize it. I was looking at the report that both all the airlines from Middle East have over 17,000 passengers from Qatar Airways, Etihad, Emirates, and Middle East Airline. They have combined seats together. And look at that. Let's even say that about 80% comes to Nigeria, and they do almost Emirates alone does about 17 landing in Nigeria, both Abuja and Lagos. So there's a whole lot of economic activities that will be affected. People will not be able to, connect whether with their families or business relation or business activities. So it's going to be a tough one, and it's going to be a big one going forward as long as this war lasts. So we just pray that things can be restored back so that economic activity can pick up, and as well reduce the cost of air transportation.
All right, Mr. Feta, let's head to the next paper now, up for review, which would be the New Telegraph. It's also taking a close look at what's happening in the Middle East. Middle East crisis helps secure Strait of Hormuz, or Trump warns allies, and we have some insights into the reporting. Flights suspended at Dubai airport after drone sparks fire. Brent crude up nearly 45% to $104 per barrel. Iran rejects UN resolution condemning strikes on Gulf countries. It appears as if the US president may have underestimated the resolve of Iran, but more importantly, it's the same president that had, boasted that the war could be prosecuted without the help of the allies, but he's now resorting to, soliciting the help of the allies. How are you weighing in on this particular dimension to the war?
If you look at it, Trump in the last 1 year or thereabouts, has not been friendly with some of his allies. You remember hitting Canada with trade tariff, so many other countries that suffer from it. And now you need their help, because no nation can operate in isolation. He thought that is something that, we know United States is one of the biggest economy in the world. So, but a tree does not make a forest. So asking for their help, but in a stick manner, I don't think it's going to work. And just like you said, that he never knew that maybe Iran can stand this time, and their resolve and their strategy as well. But what I would have expected him, yes, we have tried the stick approach. Why can't we dangling a carrot? Let's come to the table. Let's look at it and weigh in on, because he just felt that it's just one small Middle East, one of the Middle East country. Let me just hit them and get going. But I'm sure he did not put into the account the Strait of Hormuz, which we supply where the global 20% of global oil and gas that route. I'm sure they never put that into consideration. But I just hope that they can sit on the table and resolve it, because it's going to cost so much, not just the Gulf state alone, even the entire global community. They are feeling the impact. I'm sure even bringing it down home, yes, the government might make so much money from increase in crude oil, but locally people are paying so much, to fuel their vehicle, to power their home, etc., etc. So it's a tough one, but I just felt that it is high time they need to sit down on the table and resolve it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you gain, but I just hope Donald Trump will look into that. I just like the minister of UK minister said yesterday, we are not ready to be dragged into any kinds of war and all of that. And because Trump has been hitting everybody with trade tariff, and of course, you can't sell what's it called? You can't be selling sand, and you don't expect somebody to pay you with a stone.
There you go. Let's take a look at Vanguard newspaper, Mr. Fetayo, and it speaks to what's playing out right here in Nigeria. After a 6-month break, food inflation resumes upward climb, rises 12.12%. Driven by hike in prices of beans, yam flour, others. Kogi, Benue, Anambra record highest headline. Food inflation rates, and Katsina, Imo, Ebonyi record lowest. And I should say that this is for February. This is not for March, where the war started, and we're beginning to see, the prices climbing really high. Mr. Fetayo, it's page 5 on or inside the Vanguard newspaper. How can the government spin this? Because this is a time that the government must do a lot of work.
Yes, but it's just to show that there's so much for government to be done, especially the work going on in the Middle East, U.S., Israel versus Iran, because March is going to be higher than this, going to rise higher. I just feel that they should put some measure in place. Like I was discussing with someone, that this high time that the government can liaise with the state executives and said, where you have some of these farmers, if you can provide LNG bus, truck, to ease the transportation of their commodity from their farm even to the city or to the urban area, whatever it is, or to the marketplace, maybe at a reduced discount or half price, so that they can use it to mitigate, because March is going to be tougher than what we have witnessed in February. I was not expecting it to go high in this February alone, because I felt that the government have this thing, they've mastered the way to bring down the commodity, the price of food, especially. So, but rises to 12.12 from what it was in January, it shows that they still have a long way to go, especially during the war going on in the Gulf state.
Mr. Adeni Fetayo, thank you so much for your analysis. He's the CEO of Megastar Magazine, a journalist. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And from here, we head straight to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, where we have our correspondent standing by. We understand yesterday there was a drone attack that disrupted flights as Iran has continued its attack on the Gulf states. UAE is an ally of the United States, and they've been receiving literal barrage of missiles in their direction. This has killed at least one person or so in Abu Dhabi. But Marwa, good morning and welcome to the program. I'm happy you're safe. Give us your latest update.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can unmute your device, Marwa, for a moment, we can't hear you.
Can you see?
Yeah, go ahead now. Oh dear, not again. Okay, I don't know what to say. Whether there are network disruptions or connectivity in the Emirates, we do not know. So, Maiwa, let me do a last try on this. So go ahead and give us your update. Let's see whether this works. Okay, apparently not today. Or not immediately. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll get to our very first conversation for the day. We're talking politics, we're talking economy, we're talking security, we're talking about the state of the nation. Join us in just a moment.